everybody will know what Georgi wrote down, and yet we need it on the computer anyway, but we'll solve the problem one way or another. Other questions about it? Well, I'm very grateful to Peter that he does this. To be honest, he's a commercial consultant. He has to make his own living with his own work. So I couldn't pay his fee for this model, actually. It cost me a month's salary.
Walk in front of the camera.
Because I'm an academic. Right, there we go. So we have every hour we have a short break, something like that.
Yeah, I think that will be good.
We are going to work it.
So my name is Frensdorf. I'm what they call a practitioner. That means I negotiated for many years with large companies. Which helps when you write a book, relate to each other. How do we talk to each other? We know that when anyone is speaking, 70% is lost of the words, or rather, picked up, removed them. Non-verbal communication. Funny that we know that, but we don't use it during negotiation. That is why I wrote a book about it, which consists of 2 words. Nego, obviously, negotiation. And logic, psychology, plain logic. If somebody that has a great name, like William Januari, wakes up on Sunday morning and says, you know what? I think we negotiate all the time. We just don't know that we are actually negotiating. When you speak to your wife, who gets the big part? Who gets the small part? When you talk to your children about allowance, that's negotiating. When you speak to your neighbor about your tree hanging over the fence, it's negotiating. That's what he said. And until proven otherwise, that's a fact. I beg to differ, but we're not going to bicker about words. I'm just going to say, for me, commercial negotiation is a conflict in which both parties hope to change the mind of their opponent with regards to the value. For instance, you go to the bank and you need a loan. The bank director wants to make a cool decision without any emotions. He can only do that if he never lays eyes on it. Now we go a little bit into the practical way our brain works, which is very exciting because every time we speak to each other, we're trying to get into the other person's brain. And also we have to understand our own first. We know the brain consists of a factual and a playful part. As you can see, we are connected and we are not fantastic. Because when you dream at night, the next morning you have a problem to remember. I think you're an asshole, but I didn't mean to call you an asshole. You're supposed to stay in my brain. So you don't have to say, I'm sorry. No. Because deep inside, we all know that it works like that. We just don't use it. Is that terrible or what? I do it. Because in business, what we say is so terribly important. We don't even use this kind of information. Your facts. My facts are not the same as yours, and not the same as hers. But in any case, you get all those impulses, and you get for certain things. These are things that suit your story, that suit your position. For instance, if you hear that you can go by train for free, that is not a message that's going to be lost. But you say, hey, I can use that. Have an equilibrium of some kind. You don't only see positive things. You only see negative things as well. So you see both. So imagine that you have more or less an equilibrium there. Then what tips the scale are the feelings. Funny thing is, for feelings to be accepted, we need an aspect. And that aspect is a story to tell. Then the satisfaction is high and your ego is high because you've done well. Again, this is all school. It's 150,000. But you're a negotiator, so you don't start at 150. Your opening offer is 135. Production, they have their own oil, they have ducts. These people have variables that I've never heard of. Electrodes on your head where we measure your brain activity. And I give you a very difficult question. Then you see a lot of activity in your brain. Now I go away and I send it to a guy in the white car. Whatever you can think of. Okay, we are all a little bit challenged in the truth department when we negotiate. Shall we admit that, or is it just me? We are all a little bit shy. If you want to get rid of something, if I have a little bag of air and I'm going to sell it to you, I don't think you're going to pay a lot of money for it. But if you drive your BMW into the water and everything is electric and you can't open the doors and windows, after a few hours and I swing by with the bag of air, now suddenly you want to pay for it. So it's very much depending on the circumstances. If you buy a car, for instance, there are cars coming from the same factory. My wife has a Suzuki Splash, but I have a neighbor who has an Opel Agila. This Opel is reliable, and Suzuki, well, that's a cheap brand, isn't it? It's sure, it comes right out of the same factory. It's exactly the same car, same engine, everything. So we love to be fooled. Anyone driving an Audi knows how it feels to be fooled, right? It's a Volkswagen. So the fact that we know what the value is, we can honestly say, well, we might be challenged there as well.
But don't you also pay for like status? I mean, it's
Exactly.
more fun to know.
Of course you pay for the status.
Okay.
But regardless, if there is a fool in the design department that says it's air, or there's a fool in the design department that says it's gel, you know, you put it in your hair gel. Is that expensive? You put it in a bag. I've done a lot of essays, so they're my best friends. They put a bag of gel in, and the shoe suddenly cost €150 because there's gel in it and you walk better on it. Yes, you pay for status, whatever you want, but then don't tell me that you buy on value. Don't say I'm the fool and I pay for status. That's okay. It's a free world.
But is that foolish? But because like
No,
me,
not
the
necessarily.
status might help you to get like, for example, when I'm walking into the bank
Yeah.
with the Audi in the front door,
Yeah.
might get a better loan, be better off after all.
No, you
Even
get
though I
a
pay
more
too much.
expensive loan because they say, no, that one doesn't look closely at the value. I mean, if I work at the bank, you get a loan, absolutely. I open the door, we get coffee twice.
Thank you. Yeah, I do it for the coffee then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be an expensive coffee. Yeah, Paul, you're right. You know what it really is? It's environmental dependency. Another beautiful word. You know what it means? We're cattle. And that is injected in our genes. Why do we all go to McDonald's? Because everybody is there. That is a little in the middle. These days, there are a lot of brands that produce also in license. So if you have a brand like Pony, which used to be very big in America and suddenly falls down, or a brand like Diadora, which is very big in Italy, and suddenly falls down, then there are certain countries where somebody, for instance England, says, I'm buying that brand for England. And I'm not buying your product. I'm only buying and renting your name. And then suddenly it gets a lot cheaper. Because they just buy a brand, produce, mass, and everybody still says, oh, it's still a Diadora. They don't know what happened to me. And that has nothing to do with value. This has only to do with how a price comes to you. If you start at the lowest, what do you think is the most attacked way to present the price? I mean, if I would ask money for that bag, it's okay, we don't need it. I want to sell this bag. How would I get the lowest price? It's easy for us. Holland is a small country. We travel all over the world because if we want to drive for 2 hours, we're in America. But if you live in America, it's very tempting to only look at yourself. Just like in English, you see what they're saying. And then you can see that the moment you start with not mentioning a price, but say you get $1,000 cash back if you buy this car, the customer is challenged in the intelligence department. Did I say that carefully enough? So when you explain a price, people don't feel so much that they want to argue with you because you have to explain it. And then we get really weak because now I will give you proof. This book costs so much because the front costs so much, the paper costs so much, then we have printed it, and it's sent from one place to the other, and of course then I have to also make 20 euro cents. Do you believe that? That is also good. Breathe in and